Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well, and I hope that you have a phenomenal day. I'm here to do an intuitive card reading to see what messages, guidance, and insights the universe wants to share with us at this time, especially when it comes to, staying afloat amidst all the turbulence, all of life's storms, being able to surf the waves, the ebbs, the flows, the highs, the lows, and do your best to enjoy the ride, even though it can be really crazy. So let's take a look at the cards and see what the universe wants us to know. Okay, so the first card we have is first quarter moon in Pisces. Honor your feelings. Yeah, this can be quite the wild ride and quite the interesting times we find ourselves in right now. There's so many ups and downs, last minute curveballs, surprises, detours, like things blowing up, falling through, all of that. And so don't deny how you're feeling. Don't sidestep it. Don't push it aside. Don't sweep it under the rug. Honor how you feel. Doesn't mean you act on it. It doesn't give you a free pass if you're feeling frustrated, angry, bitter, you're in despair, whatever, like that you can go and lash out at other people. It gives you a free pass, but be real and honor how you feel. Your feelings are valid. Your perception may not be true, but your feelings are valid. You are allowed to have whatever feelings you have. You're human. Embrace the whole human journey, the whole natural human experience. That means the negative emotions too. Doesn't mean you run away from them and pretend they're not there and be like, I'm a bad person for feeling this. You're allowed to feel however you feel. Doesn't mean it's enjoyable, but allow yourself to make space and feel whatever it is that's coming up. Because our emotions, their energy and motion, they're meant to flow through our body and, be felt so they can be processed and released. When we, ignore them, sidestep them, pretend they're not there, shove them, in this little bottle, throw it in a closet and lock away the key, like, we're not honoring our feelings and we're just creating all this stuck energy in our body because we're not allowing ourselves to feel. So honor your feelings, they're valid. They're valid, and you're allowed to have the whole human experience. You don't need to be good vibes only. Yes, it's much more enjoyable when you're in those positive emotions like happiness, peace, love, fun, joy, all of that. But in order to truly understand those, you also have to experience and make space for the flip side, the contrast, the sadness, the frustration, the anger. Like, it's not fun. It can be intense and uncomfortable and painful and messy to feel those negative emotions, but it helps us be whole. It helps us stay grounded, to know how we're feeling and to work our way through it instead of trying to, sweep it under the rug. So honor how you feel. It can be easier said than done when things get so crazy, but honor how you feel. Yeah. Full moon in Aquarius. Be real. Be authentic. Be genuine. Be honest. Be real. Don't pretend that everything's all sunshine and flowers and rainbows and unicorns and all that when it's not. Doesn't mean you have to focus on the negative, but be real. Like, be open and honest and vulnerable and be like, you know what? I'm not doing so great right now. I have some intense emotions I'm working through. Today's not been the best day, but that doesn't mean you have to focus on all the negative just because you're real about it and be like, this is where I'm at. Doesn't mean you can't improve. Doesn't mean things can't get better, but be real. If you don't want something, if it's not in alignment, if it doesn't resonate, you can be honest and real about it. Don't say yes to other people if it's a no to yourself. Be real. Be genuine. Be authentic. Because you're going to go so much farther if you do. Okay. Full moon in Capricorn. Take a reality check. And this very much feels like your feelings are valid, but your perception may not be true. That's what my one aunt likes to say. And it resonates a lot because we can get caught up in the fear, the doubt, the insecurity, and, fear is false evidence appearing real. So we can feel something is so real, and it can be so overwhelming, and it can just like shake us to the core, and like it can just rattle us. But that doesn't mean it's real, which is why the universe is saying, hey, take a reality check. Are all the things that you're thinking, saying, believing, feeling, are they actually real? Are they actually true? Do they just feel true? Do they feel real? Is this actually reality? Because my family, they're notorious for like literally expecting and thinking the worst and saying like all humanity sucks, everything always goes wrong, nothing ever goes right, this and the other. And it's just like, take a reality check. It can feel like nothing ever goes right and everything always goes wrong. It can feel like humanity is just like dumpster fire because you can see all this bad happening. But is that actually the reality? Is that actually the whole truth? Or are you just, cherry picking? Because we have confirmation bias. So we'll look for evidence and facts and support that actually confirm what we already believe. So are you living in reality? Or are you tripping yourself up with these beliefs? They could be very much negative narratives and limiting beliefs that are just skewing your whole perception, and you're not seeing things clearly for as they are. Which is why they understand, hey, reality check. Are you here? Are you here? Are you living in reality? Or do you have this distorted view of reality and you're like, no, this is the truth? Because that can happen to us too. We're human. The ego can do so much self-sabotage with that. Okay, we have Newman and Gemini. Think it through. Yeah. And that doesn't mean that you spend so much time getting caught up in your mental mind space that you're just overthinking things, overanalyzing things, getting into analysis paralysis, all that. But it wants you to actually, honor your feelings, be real, but have a reality check and think it through. Like, yes, I'm allowing myself and I'm making space for however I feel. I'm being real. I'm showing up as I am. But that doesn't mean that my feelings always give me a clear perception of the reality of the truth. So let me think this through. Is this the best course for me to make? For instance, when that toxic group and the narcissist were creating all these smear campaigns, trying to get me to question and doubt myself, to think that I was crazy, and they were doing all this nasty, disrespectful things, I got in my feelings a little bit, and I was very tempted to blow up on them. And yeah, it was justified because what they're doing was unacceptable. It was just gross and disrespectful and all of that. But that didn't justify me lashing out and, doing like for like. So I took some time to breathe, to pause, to process how I was feeling and decide, how do I want to show up in this? How do I want to choose to respond? Because if I hadn't taken that time to pause, to reflect, to breathe, to process, I would have just been, blindly reacting instead of intentionally responding. And when I was reflecting on this, I was like, you know what? If I follow through with how I'm feeling right now, I would regret it. Because I don't want to choose nastiness and aggression and pettiness. Like all these other people were telling me to be, it's like, they deserve it. And it's like, maybe they do. Because, the energy you put out comes back to you. But it's like, I don't want to live in that. I don't want to play in that energy. It feels heavy and it feels toxic and it feels gross. Like it's a poison eating me from the inside out. No, I don't want to participate in that. And so we have to think things through. So we're choosing, decisions that are in alignment with us, the ones that are best suited for us, the ones we actually want to make, And sometimes that means we have to pause and reflect rather than just jumping into things. But when we do all this, full moon and Virgo, we can take inspired action. We can do what resonates, what's in alignment with ourselves, what actually feels right. Because we're making space for our feelings, we're not just shoving them off to the side and just doing what other people say we should do. It's like, oh, well, it should be good vibes only. I shouldn't be feeling this way, this, that, and the other. It's like, no, feel however you feel. Allow yourself to feel it. Make space for it. Allow yourself to process. Be real. But take a reality check and think it through so that you can make the highest choice for yourself. Because the universe, it can use anything and everything to your benefit. Whatever choices you make, it's like your, GPS system, and it'll like help you get to where you're going from the turns you make in life, the path you're taking. But it's going to go so much smoother if you take inspired, aligned action instead of blindly reacting, having those highly emotional triggers where you are unconsciously responding to the world instead of being mindful and intentional with what you do. It makes a world of a difference. It can be easier said than done, but it really does make a world of a difference. Right? Because when we do all this, it's the universe preparing us. The squirrel preparation. It's preparing us for a new dawn, for our brand new chapter, for all of these new opportunities and doors to open up for us, because we're leveling up. We're not being the same old. And so to reach these new levels, to unlock these new chapters, all these new opportunities, we have to do things differently. We can't go around the way, that's just the way it always is. That's how people are. It's just like, we're waking up and we're choosing to do better. We are learning more. We're learning to do better because we know better, And it's not that it's going to be perfect. It's a, messy process. We can take steps forward and stumble backwards some. But overall, we're growing and improving and moving forward. Yeah, the coral foundation, because we have this new sound foundation. It's stable, it's secure, it's sturdy, it's strong. You have that internal foundation of integrity, of strength of character, of peace, of well-being. Like, you are prioritizing yourself and making the choices that are best for you. You're not just, going along to get along. You're not saying yes to all these people when it's actually a no to yourself. You have the strong foundation because you're honoring how you feel, you're being real, but you're also, taking that inspired action. It's like, okay, what resonates? What's in alignment? What is actually what I want to do, and what is the best course of action for me where I'm at? And since you have that solid foundation, it's going to help you go all the more far, It's like, because when the storms of life come rolling in, and these high tides, with the waves, and you can surf them, you can enjoy the ride more. Not that everything's enjoyable, not that everything's to your preference. Things can still be brutal and turbulent and chaotic and dark, but you have that foundation to weather the storms, to ride the high tides, the low tides, and to be able to stay afloat, And yeah, because you are being prepared and you have this foundation now, the crow magic, all the universe's magic and miracles and blessings can come in. You're in alignment with them. You flow with them. You're able to see all the possibility and realize that even when things don't work out to your preferences, the universe can still use it for your highest good. Like with me, that toxic group and the narcissist, in the heat of the moment, when all of it was going down, it was very painful. I was very emotional and all that. And it felt like horrible. But looking back, I can see how the universe was protecting me and working its magic so I would have the time, the energy, the space for actual healthy, supportive, reciprocal relationships. That group was not it. They liked to pretend. And they had this little charade. But the truth was coming out, and so the universe is saying, hey, honor your feelings, be real, and take a reality check. Is this actually what you want? And it's just like, when I actually look at it in hindsight, it's like, no, that actually isn't what I want, because it was so manipulative, so much deception, so much gaslighting, so much invalidation. Like, it was just a hot mess. And if I would have stayed in that, I would have just, gone along to get along. It's just like, I wouldn't be able to let the magic in. And so even when things fall apart, even when there's breakdowns, it's the universe setting us up for breakthroughs, for things to fall into place. Yeah, the worm renewal. We are being renewed. We're having this whole fresh start, this new era, this transformation. And we are not the old self anymore. We're becoming something completely new, refreshed, rejuvenated. The magic is flowing through us, and we have this strong, stable, secure, sturdy foundation now. We're going to be able to weather storms all the easier. Not that it's necessarily going to be easy all the time, but when you have that internal security, that internal integrity, that internal foundation, it's a whole lot easier to stay the course and weather the storms when it gets rough like that, you know? It's not always easy, because sometimes it's easier said than done, but it works out much better on our behalf when we have that. Yeah, very much so. Rebirth. Every end is a new beginning. Every single end. And it can feel brutal, and it could hurt a lot, and there can be suffering and pain and, disheartenment and disappointment, all of that. I went through it with that group, and with all the toxic bosses who would toss me out and all this, it was brutal. But from the ashes of that, I was able to rise again like a phoenix. I was able to get more in alignment, to do more things that are, resonate with me, that are allowing me to be real and who I truly am and authentic. And so, yeah, it sucks when things end, but it's also the start of a brand new bright beginning. So don't, get too caught up in your feelings and how, the fear of it's all over, I'll never find a new job, I'll never find new friends, I'll never find a new relationship. Feel what you need to feel, but that doesn't mean it's true, You're being rebirthed. Transformation. You're becoming the butterfly. Transformation is the soul's evolution. You're evolving. You're becoming something new. This is why the universe is preparing you and setting you up with this solid foundation so that you can go the distance, so you can stay the course, so you can weather all these storms and ride each and every wave that comes. You're going to be able to fly high. It's not always easy, but you're going to be able to do it because you have the strength to. Your inner strength is boundless. Unleash it. And again, the butterfly is here. You are so much stronger and capable than you give yourself credit for. Same with myself. And we don't always feel it, but the universe wants you to be real and take a reality check and actually acknowledge your strength. You have been through so much and overcame so much. Give yourself more credit. You've got this. As messy and as painful and as complicated as it is, you got this. Yeah, light. Light dispels the darkness. Keep your inner light shining. And again, look, more butterflies. I kid you not, this is very much embodying the butterfly. You are the butterfly. You are transforming. You are able to let go of the ways of the caterpillar and become the butterfly. You're setting yourself free. You're setting yourself free, and it's beautiful. Yeah, starting over. You are presented with the opportunity for a fresh start and new beginnings. Release regrets and embrace the present moment with openness and optimism. Yeah. Every ending is a chance for a new beginning. You can't start the new chapter if you're still in the old one. The old chapter has to conclude. It has to end. You are being rebirthed. So yes, it can be painful. It can be messy. You can be uncertain of how things are going to play out. But know that things can only get better because you are letting go of the old, what no longer serves, what is not in alignment, And it's not always easy to start over, but it's a chance to get in alignment. Your thoughts are manifesting rapidly. Trust in divine guidance and stay focused on your goals. Stay focused on what you want. You don't have to have things play out the same old, same old. You can break those old habits, those old cycles, those old patterns by getting in alignment, by trusting, by believing, by showing up as you truly are and being real. You're getting all this new stability because of this foundation that you're being prepared with. The angels are guiding and supporting you, providing a stable foundation for success. You're going to be able to go the distance. Don't you worry. You're being set up for success. You're having this foundation. You're being prepared. Get excited because you're going to have all this new growth. You are experiencing growth and expansions in all areas of your life. You are on the right path and moving towards greater fulfillment and success. Again, you're being set up for success. You're being renewed. You're being rebirthed. You're being prepared. You're having the solid foundation. You have the strength to undergo this transformation and come out the side all the better. You're starting over, but you're going to be in alignment from now on. honoring your feelings, being real, thinking it through, taking inspired and aligned action. Like, it's all coming together for your greatest growth. It's going to work out for you, I promise. Robin, new growth and potential is on the horizon. Reach out and embrace it. Yeah. Embrace this rebirth. Embrace this transformation. Embrace this evolution. Embrace this preparation. You're going to go farther than you ever could imagine. You've got this. You've truly got this. Yeah. Starling, now is the time to get out into the world and connect in authentic ways. It's time to let go of the ways of old, the old patterns, the old coping mechanisms. Show up as your authentic self. Be real. Be who you truly are. It's time to make connections because the old ways are crumbling, and so they're not going to work anymore. You can't do things the old ways anymore. You got to start embracing this new. Even if it's messy and you're uncertain, you've got this. You're being set up for success, guys. We have destiny. It is not in the stars, but in yourself, because you're made of stardust. Everything you need is inside you. Everything. You are being set up for success. You have the internal foundation to go the distance, to embrace who you truly are, to reach your full potential. It's up to you to choose it. You've got this. Take charge. Don't wait for the stars to align. Reach up and arrange them the way you want. Yeah. You are co-creating with the universe. Yes, the universe will align things for you and, have all these synchronistic opportunities, but you can also speak things into existence. You are co-creating with the universe. You have the power. So get in alignment with yourself and watch it all align in the external. Because, you're meant to thrive. There's enough space for the moon and her stars not to tear each other down, yeah. Other people can shine brightly too. There's not a limited amount of abundance. There's not a limited amount of thriving. There's not a limited amount of love. It's expansive. It's abundant. It's prosperous. We can all shine. We can all be authentic and real and reach our full potential and thrive. We've got this, guys. We've got it. The universe wants us to bring in more love, more harmony, more peace, more joy, more alignment. It wants us to have love be our foundation. And so, what are you choosing? What are you aligning with? What are you focusing on? Because it's going to make a world of a difference in the life that you experience, the reality you manifest and co-create. Which is why the universe wants you to honor your feelings and love yourself. Yeah, come from the heart space. Love, deep affection, and caring. You've got this. Everything's coming together, but how you choose to show up in the world is going to make a world of a difference. And when you choose to align with the heart, when you choose to align with love, you're going to be like the eagle. You're going to soar over it all and reach greater heights. Triumph over your troubles and obstacles. You're going to set yourself free. You're going to emerge as the butterfly. You won't be chained to the earth like the caterpillar. You'll be able to soar and reach new heights. Yeah. The winds of change are coming in to bring in peace and harmony. Wind chimes. It's going to be beautiful because you're transforming, you're evolving, you're being prepared and set up with the foundation for success. It's going to be unlike any of your previous chapters. You're being set up for success. You're going to shine bright like the star you are. It's going to be beautiful and magical. And yeah, some days are going to be hard. Some days are going to be messy and turbulent. But go with the flow because you can weather it all. You can weather all the storms and you can go to success. Yes, basket. The universe is letting you reap your rewards, providing you a basket of a plenty. You'll be receiving recognition and reward for merit. All of your hard work, all of you doing the internal work, the healing, the showing up for yourself, loving yourself, aligning with love, taking that aligned, inspired action, embracing the magic, the renewal, the rebirth, embracing your inner light, getting in alignment. It's going to set you up for success. It really is. So yeah, guys, it's okay. Show up as you are. Honor your feelings. Be real. Be honest. Be vulnerable. But get in alignment. Allow yourself to start over. Allow yourself to trust, to have faith, to know that the universe has your back and is working magic and miracles on your behalf. You're evolving and becoming something new. So it's okay if you don't have all the answers. It's okay if not everything makes sense. It's okay if you're in this messy in-between phase where you're not quite the caterpillar and you're not quite the butterfly and you don't know what's what and like you're not seeing the results. It's okay. Keep riding the waves, keep weathering the storms, because on the other side, brighter days are there. There's the rainbow, there's the dawn of a new era. It's all coming together beautifully. I'm sending you so much love. Please take care. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.